In this live stream, I'll be talking to you about what you can expect with the price of Bitcoin, ETH, Cardano, and I also take some suggestions if you want me to look at other cryptocurrencies that you've got on your radar. I'll be looking at if we are going to continue moving sideways, if we're going to have a bit of a dip, try and help you manage your emotions a lot better by giving you a little bit of reassurance. Then I'm also going to be covering some of the pretty cool news that I've came across over the last week. Some you might already be familiar with, others maybe not. And yeah, I'm going to be giving you my input and opinion about that, so stay tuned for that. So I think you shouldn't be too worried with the price moving sideways on most coins, because I think it's a really good thing that it's happening. Now, many people get impatient and go like, oh yeah, but ETH and BTC, they're acting like a stable coin. So like, yeah, look at me now. I'm the stable coin when you're talking about Ethereum. And yeah, it's moving at $1,800, not really doing a lot, pretty boring. But in my opinion, this is the best thing that can happen, because the more it moves sideways, the more powerful the support will become. So this $1,800 support can become a lot stronger the more it moves sideways. So this is pretty cool. Of course, everyone wants like massive gains, but massive gains all the time is definitely not healthy for any type of asset. And yeah, for most of the people that just entered into the market, I think that this is going to be definitely a wake-up call when we're going to have the first big dip. So it's like crypto does all of this, a crypto noob thinking he's going to be a millionaire, and then the other player that's got a lot of stuff that he can actually throw. So you've got a violent 40% pullback. So seen that, done that. Nothing new, but for a new investor, that's definitely not something that's a lot of fun to experience, especially for people that haven't experienced the crypto winter. Definitely let me know if you've experienced the crypto winter. Well, if you've done that, then you're definitely a veteran, and it's not going to be anything you have to worry about. China Fund is a big popular one that always happens every year again. So at the moment, I think it's India Fund, with India banning different privacy related cryptocurrencies. And then you've got exchange hacks and scammers. I mean, you've got DeFi hacks happening every day. I mean, if there's not a DeFi hack happening during a week, then it's definitely not a good DeFi week. Exchange hacks and scammers were causing flash crashes. So what I think I'll also be doing, even though I do this quite often, I talk about how to handle your emotions, especially if you're thinking about long-term investing, what you should definitely not do and what you should maybe consider doing, because yeah, basically I've experienced a lot of things in the cryptocurrency space, and the main way that you're going to be making money in this space is by hodling and not trying to time the markets. So Leandro Santos, I have 2 ETH. Is it good to hold or sell today? And I think this question can only be answered by yourself. So what is the reason why you want to sell? Is it because you need the money right now? Or is it because you're thinking it's going to drop? The best way to lose money is to try and time the market. If you're like scared of a drop and then you decide to sell and you go and you sell all of your ETH, then most likely what is going to happen is that the price is going to go up. Very often, even with a lot of technical analysis, the price always does everything that you do not expect it to do. So my best advice, do not time the market. Just forget about those ETH for the next 2 years, or put a price alert if you're like feeling the emotions and you're scared that the price is going to drop, and just put it on a hardware wallet and don't touch it. What you can do is put a price alert like for $5,000 or $10,000, and you sell at those price points if that's an exit that you want to have. But otherwise, I don't recommend trying to time the market, because what will probably happen is the price might drop from $1,800 to $1,000, and then you sell at $1,800 and you think it drops to $1,000, but you're not going to buy back because you think it's going to go even lower. What happens, lo and behold, the price actually goes back to $1,200, and you go like, yeah, but now I can't buy because it was at $1,000 and it might drop again. And then before you know it, the price is already at $1,900. And there you've got one choice, and that is buy back higher. But you don't really want to do that because you just sold at 1,800. And yeah, you see the conundrum. Trying to time the market is definitely a clown's game. Definitely don't recommend doing that. If you want to exit your position, then exit your position, but don't try and buy back. Just set a price level that you want to exit at and then exit the market completely. Definitely watch my how to make profit or how to take profit video that I posted a while ago. Still Trill. I am new in the space. I bought in around January 28th. I've been slowly gaining in the green. I think if it takes a major dip, I use it to soak up more in my portfolio. The thing is, timing the market is really difficult. Now, of course, you have the disadvantage that you bought maybe ETH, I don't know, $1,000. And many people are already up 10x on their investments. So in my opinion, it's definitely not an easy thing to do, but just stomach the drop if it happens and don't think too much about it. Dollar cost average is one of the best strategies that you can just put some money into it. Definitely not financial advice, but I think it's better than trying to time the market, especially if you're new to the space, because most people, they get wrecked because of the volatility of the cryptocurrency space, and those that actually make the massive amounts of money are those that forget about their cryptocurrency in the first place. It can drop, definitely, but I think if you look at it on a long-term perspective, like just look at it as an investment. Definitely don't invest more than you're willing to lose, but look at it as a long-term investment. Keep it for at least 2 years. And I mean, I'm not selling. I've sold just a little bit because I quit my job recently and I want to have a little bit of a backup in case sponsors don't pay enough and I would have to live on the streets and I get some food. So I do have a little bit of a nest egg. I definitely always take profits, but never try and time the market. I've got so many comments from people that just say, oh, I sold ETH at 1,600 and now it's going to 1,800. Should I buy back? It's always the same story, always the same story. Everyone gets to experience the flavor of the cryptocurrency space with the first dips. You can call it like a type of inauguration. So enough about that. Let's talk about it, about a joke I have among friends, and that is very often the best time to start selling is when your grandma and postman starts talking about cryptocurrency. And I thought maybe this might be one of the best indicators that it might be a good time to sell, even though I did tell that you should just probably wait and hodl long term. I think it's pretty fun as soon as we see like Lindsay Lohan actually getting like posting sponsored tweets about DeFi and Tron. So I think that's a bit hilarious. So let's look at the markets. Let's start with the total market cap of the cryptocurrency space. This is including Bitcoin. So I must say I'm really impressed. I didn't expect us to rise and rally so hard in 2021 and the end of 2020. So we definitely had a massive surge in volume, and yeah, it's been incredible. So if we look at the price range, how much we actually increased. So at the moment we're at 1.47 trillion US dollars. That is pretty incredible. So I believe the 2017 rally actually went up to 900 billion. So if we look at the monthly, let's look at the monthly. Hopefully you can see this. So this is actually last 2017, we actually topped out at $596 billion. Or it went, let's say 751 billion. That was like peak time around 1st of January 2018. I remember we were thinking like the market is not going to go, it's not going to ever go down. And it's an incredible rally from 3.8. So if you look at it on a large scale, the first bull run started on the 1st of January 2015 and it ended on the 1st of February 2018. So a very long time span and definitely a massive increase. So probably we're not going to have the same percentage increase as we had between 2015 and 2000 and the end of 2017. However, I do expect a pretty large increase. So I think people have to look at this investment as a long time thing. I don't believe the cryptocurrency space is going to top out in 2021. I believe the end of the rally is probably going to be sometime end of 2022. So the small dips along the way, it's going to be nothing if you look at the big picture. Definitely going to be nothing. So if we look at it here we barely surpassed the previous all-time high of the cryptocurrency space. You see, this is like incredibly small. So if we look at the price increase, and like I said, it's possible that we don't have the exact same price increase. So that 35% increase in the 2015 to 2017 bull run. And if we look at the day range, that would be, we always take the lowest low and the highest high, and that is 1096 days. So we could probably try and estimate the, let's remove, I do hope you can see this. I hope it's not too small. And we can probably try and estimate where the peak is going to be based on the similarity of the 2015 to 2017 bull run. So maybe let's try and do that. So the bottom would be on, this would be the complete bottom where the bull run started. So people think the bull run actually started in March 2020, but the bull run actually started at the lowest point, which was a $94 billion market cap for the whole cryptocurrency space on the 1st of December. So if we look at this and we do 1096 days, more or less, that would mean here, that would mean, okay, this that's a bit silly, but that would mean the end would be 2021. So let's see if it's going to be end 2021 or beginning of 2022. That's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be performing. If the bottom is actually this year, if the bottom is considered to be March, then it would be, yeah, around 1st of January 2023. So that, I guess it's subjective. I'm not too familiar if we should use the 1st of January 2018 or the March 2018 for the bottom. So that means we could definitely expect a $2 or even $3 trillion market cap in 2021. And that would be actually pretty awesome. So what I wanted to also show you, I think this is pretty interesting. If we put the indicators in again, and that is showing you that we are actually moving a little bit into a bearish divergence. What that actually means is that the power, the buying power in the cryptocurrency space is slightly declining, meaning that it's possible that we have a small drop in price. I mean, this is something to be expected since we've been going up so much over the last, well, several months, especially since the beginning of the year. So here, this is since the 31st of December. So here we actually doubled. We had like more than 2x since the beginning of the year. And what I want to show you is that even though the price is going up for the total market cap, we've got something here. This is the relative strength index. Basically, it shows how much an asset is overbought. And when you've got a higher high and then a lower high, you can make a line. And basically, when this line is going down, but the price here is going up, you call this a bearish divergence. And theoretically, this actually indicates that we might have a bit of a correction. So in my opinion, if we should have a correction, I believe the support would be here at the $1 trillion mark. This would actually be a fantastic support. And I think such a small correction, which could happen like this week, next week, yeah, it would actually serve as a good bouncing board for new highs and to continue the way up. But it's possible that we don't actually have this correction, that it's just like a fake out. Very often this can happen in the cryptocurrency space since we're actually super small. And technical analysis only works to a certain degree. It's basically trying to find probabilities of what is going to happen. It's never a certainty of what's going to happen. So let's have a look at ETH. I think ETH is actually painting a very similar story. You've got ETH USD, and I think here it's a lot clearer. Let's maybe hide this. And yeah, we've actually been going up in price, and we've been actually moving a little bit sideways since the 12th of February. We've gone up a little bit, breaking and creating new highs, but we've got the same story on the RSI actually since the beginning of February. Even though the price was going up, we've had declining RSI. Now there's two things. One thing that would be super bullish is if we actually manage to break past this downwards RSI trend, and that would actually propel us up to this line, and that would bring us very close to the $2,000 mark. And I believe this is a very large psychological level. Probably a lot of dumps are going to be happening around this level. So if you think about exiting this position, maybe place an order maybe around $1,980, but that is only if you're like thinking of completely exiting this position. Definitely don't time the market. Only sell when the price is going up. That's the best way to do it. D, what do you think of SwissBorg and what the interest rate will be for ETH? Thanks. I've actually been looking at SwissBorg and I might make a video review about them. I think it's quite interesting. They're a Swiss company that has been quite successful. It is a centralized entity, so you always run into the centralized risk. There are quite a lot of centralized exchanges or centralized solutions offering yields. I guess it really depends on what your philosophy is behind the cryptocurrency space. If you don't really care if the exchange or the institution is centralized or not, then I guess go for it. But you always run into inherent risks that they just disappear. I don't think they're just going to disappear since they're a regulated company in Switzerland, and it's not like a shady exchange in I'm not going to say a country example, but a shady exchange somewhere unknown. So I'm not going to talk too much about Bitcoin. I think the price here as well is closely trying to break and breach the $50,000 level. I think this is definitely a historical moment. Really looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to another price level, and that is the $53,000 level. And I think this is pretty interesting because that actually means that the first time in the history of cryptocurrency that an asset is going to break the $1 trillion market cap. So yeah, Bitcoin is very close to it. Bitcoin is now trading at $904 billion. So only $100 billion are missing. And that is a $53,000 price range or price target. So definitely really exciting. I know a lot of people are not like big fans of Bitcoin because of a lot of reasons. But Bitcoin has been my first cryptocurrency that I actually used to enter basically the gateway drug to enter the cryptocurrency space. All right. So yeah, I think it's possible that we see a test of the $53,000, especially the 50,000. I think that's going to be a pretty easy price point to break. But I think the bigger test is going to be this $53,000 range, because $1 trillion market cap, that's definitely massive. Hopefully we manage to break that. I think this is fantastic because that actually shows that it's possible, and I believe in the next 1 to 2 years there's not only going to be one asset that breaks 1 trillion, you're going to have like the top 10 or top 20 cryptocurrencies that broke the $1 trillion market cap. Definitely excited. You definitely be excited because your portfolio moons, and hopefully some people can also quit the rat race and just read about cryptocurrency stuff every day on an island, on the beach, or wherever. That's definitely the dream. On a yacht, if you can actually manage to afford a yacht. If you actually find a low cap coin goes to 1 trillion, you have 1,000x. Yeah. I think the last coin we're going to be looking at is Cardano. Big fan of Cardano. It had a massive rally. If you manage to actually enter a Cardano at a good price, then you've been pretty in the green. So I actually started accumulating Cardano at the 2 cents level, 4 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I'm not actually exiting my position at any time at the moment. I just would heed a little bit of caution at the current prices. I mean, you had a massive price increase from, I mean, 32 cents level to nearly $1. I think on some exchanges it might actually broke past $1, but I'm not sure about that. So I think the next support is going to be at the 72 cents level. If we should bounce on that, Cardano has pretty strong fundamentals to actually start trading a bit sideways and then break above the $1 levels. I think the same thing is going to happen as it happened between these two levels. So here between 39 and 27 cents. So here you see it's actually been going sideways. It breaks past this resistance. And I think the same thing is going to be happening here between these two lines, especially since the fundamentals are good. And then we're probably going to see a breakout, and that would be pretty awesome. Mirak, I have no clue what I'm doing in DeFi. I am a newbie. Where should I start? I think this is the market roundup. Let's quickly look at what happened in the cryptocurrency space. There's a lot of things that happened. They've got like top gainers. Cardano actually surpassed XRP in terms of market cap, which I think is pretty awesome. So market roundup, there was a cream hack, which happened, I think 1 or 2 days ago. That was pretty crazy. Even though the cream protocol didn't suffer any losses, it was the alpha, BTC moving sideways, and ADA still fourth, meaning it surpassed the Cardano blockchain. It surpassed XRP. As you can see, I'm a little bit tired. All right, so the cream hack, not going to talk too much about it. Basically a $37.5 million flash loan exploit, and Alpha Finance Labs basically was affected for this. This is basically a DeFi platform which would allow people to leverage yield farm, pretty risky. And yeah, I think everything has been more or less patched, but it shows that the DeFi space is definitely still an experiment. You're going to have hacks, flash loan exploits happening left and right. So definitely don't enter the DeFi space with the expectation that everything is safe. Yeah, it's definitely an experiment, and hacks and exploits can happen and your funds can be lost. So the biggest gainers in the top 100 was actually Dash. And I think this is actually pretty fun because this is like a 2017 project that came out from the depths of hell. I think it went down to around $90 during crypto winter, and it actually went back up pretty high. So that's pretty interesting that Dash actually increased so much in price over the last week. So yeah, Cardano actually surpasses XRP in market cap, and that's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, I think XRP and the Ripple project are doing interesting things, but at the moment the fundamentals are definitely not there, and the fan base definitely has their particularities that I'm maybe not too fond about. But yeah, I mean, it's actually doing a lot better than I had expected. 61 cents is pretty good, taking into consideration that the SEC stuff is still not gone yet. But Cardano, fantastic fundamentals at the moment, had its rally. And yeah, I don't think that's going to end anytime soon. A lot of updates are going to come in February. So it's only halfway there. 14th of February is today. So Valentine's Day. Hope if you're watching this, I guess you don't have a date for the night. Yeah. Hope crypto can still make you happy. Or you're happily married, or you're happily in a relationship. That's also fine. Next up, we've got, of course, the massive news that happened at the beginning of the week. Tesla actually bought some Bitcoin. I think that's pretty interesting. I really didn't expect that to happen, and some people on Reddit anticipated such a move. And there they invested $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. So every time that you think about selling, think about it in such a way that you should actually be doing the same thing as Smart Money is doing. Smart Money is not selling at the moment. They're actually buying a lot of Bitcoin, and hopefully soon also ETH. I mean, at the moment, institutions are not really buying or not too interested in ETH, mainly because they don't really understand it. They're just like started warming up to the idea of buying Bitcoin as an asset, putting it on their books. So this is super interesting. I mean, Elon did tease quite a lot that he might be buying Bitcoin, but I was never sure. So that definitely created a massive spike in price on Monday. Furthermore, you've got like a massive announcement, and that is with MasterCard announces support for crypto on its network in big. This is super big for adoption. I mean, yeah, MasterCard allowing for people to buy crypto. That's going to be awesome. This is very similar to the PayPal news, and the PayPal news definitely was really bullish. So in my opinion, if MasterCard is going to offer support, I believe next up is going to be Visa. They were already toying with the idea of using some kind of stable coin or Ethereum technology. I think I made a video about that 2 or 3 months ago, but it's going to be interesting. Then, yeah, we already talked about BTC breaching 50,000 US dollar. That's going to be super interesting. Now, I've got a short article I'd like to share with you, and that's going to be kind of interesting to see how the ETH futures are going to impact the ETH price in the short term. And yeah, it's not super bullish, but it's also not super bearish. I think it's going to be interesting. Very hard to predict what the outcome is going to be. Yeah, apart from that, not much to talk about. I mean, the Dogecoin news, I think it's a bit of a joke, but yeah, I mean, I guess Dogecoin is a joke. I think what is fun is Elon Musk's stance on Dogecoin as a whole. Yeah, I've actually got Deepak. I've actually got of information concerning EIP 1559. It'll come at the end. I'm not sure if I'm going to manage to talk about all of the info that I've got in this video, but I will definitely be talking about EIP 1559. Now though, what do you think about Reef? A video about Reef is coming out this week, so I'll answer that in that video. So let's actually skip ahead. I think, like I said, follow what smart money is doing. Grayscale purchases 53,000 ETH in 1 day. So definitely a lot of buying power. Do they know something that we don't know? I don't know. Follow the smart money. Easiest thing to do. So since the Grayscale Ethereum Trust reopened in February, a total of 195,000 ETH have flown into the trust. The current AUM of the ETH Trust is $5.5 billion, more than double since the beginning of the year. So this is incredible. So I think it's also really interesting to look at the assets under management for the Grayscale Trust. So you've got the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Bitcoin Cash Trust, never mind about that. Grayscale Ethereum Trust, but I think it's also fun that they've also got the Ethereum Classic Trust. Wouldn't really know why. Since the Ethereum Classic suffered like multiple 51% attacks, but yeah, the Grayscale Ethereum Trust has increased by a lot. So that's pretty good. That's pretty bullish for ETH, if you ask me. And I think what we'll do is actually quickly talk about Cardano and then talk about EIP 1559. So I think the technical analysis for Cardano, I think it's not flawed, but I think it's to be taken with a pinch of salt since the fundamentals are super bullish. And I think you shouldn't really be trading based on technicals and mostly about fundamentals, because in a bull run, fundamentals are way stronger and can outperform any technical analysis. Since technical analysis only looks at the mathematics and the price movements and volume and stuff like that, it doesn't really look at what is happening behind the scenes of a company. So yeah, you've got the Mary upgrade and also the native assets that are brought to Cardano blockchain. So that's super exciting. Cardano's token design difference is a unique selling point. This is definitely pretty interesting, especially since the way that Cardano separates the computational layer for smart contracts and the native assets. And I think this is a really important aspect, because on the Ethereum blockchain, you've got the issue that many transactions happening on the Ethereum blockchain is going to cause the smart contract calls to be super slow and super expensive, and the other way around. So when you've got like hundreds of CryptoKitties or people like getting their Uniswap stimulus check, yeah, the gas fees on the Ethereum blockchain are just going to like skyrocket. And at the moment they're just painful, really painful. So I think this is pretty interesting if you look at the unique sending point. Instead of sending tokens, requires a nominal fee called the minimal Cardano value payable on ADA to be sent alongside the tokens. You may also bundle multiple native tokens together and send them together in one transaction, and this raises the minimal value. However, this fee does not depend on the network congestion or rely on smart contract execution. So this is pretty awesome. This means that the fees are not based on how many transactions are happening on the blockchain, but based on this configured value, which can be changed. So if the price of Cardano, so the ADA price should go maybe to $10, then this min ADA value is going to be reduced, reducing the transaction fee. This is really awesome. So yeah, so the smart contracts should be implemented with the Goguen era, which should be finished probably at the end of February. And yeah, many people are like saying, yeah, but Cardano still doesn't have smart contracts and so on. But yeah, they're trying to build a boat without any holes, and yeah, that's going pretty well. Ethereum blockchain, even though it's super fantastic, it's got a lot of holes, and that's why the devs are trying to fix it, trying to patch the holes. That's why we've got stuff like EIP 1559, and also devs having to build a completely new blockchain, the Ethereum 2.0 blockchain. So that brings us to the topic, support EIP 1559. I think that's going to be interesting. I mean, EIP 1559, it might not be a term that you're familiar with, but it's really important. EIP stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal. And this EIP 1559 will change the way that the gas fees are calculated. So at the moment, the gas fees work on an auction-based system, meaning that the highest bidder actually gets his transaction processed first. And this is a very inefficient way of like calculating the gas fees, because instead of starting at 0, the first bid might start at 100 Gwei, and then the next trader wants to outbid that, and he proposes 120 Gwei and so on. And that's why we've got like incredibly high gas fees. So if you look at the ETH gas station, I think at the moment it's like 125. That's still fine, but yeah, the smart contracts definitely eat up a lot of gas fees. So Uniswap is the top one, because a lot of people are aping into coins, buying the newest tokens that are released, and they don't really care about gas because the rewards from the token releases outweigh the cost they pay in gas. But yeah, this EIP 1559 proposal, basically what it means is that the fee is going to be split. You're going to have something that's called the base fee, and that's going to be burnt, and another part is going to be sent to the miners. But the problem is, with this new implementation, miners are not really happy about that, because that means they get less rewards. And there's a petition happening. It's actually called Stop EIP 1559 from the miners, so opposing pools and supporting pools. And the thing is, these miners have to actually implement this new proposal for the proposal to actually work. So if enough miners decide to not implement this proposal, it's possible that Ethereum gets forked, that you have an Ethereum with EIP 1559 and an Ethereum without EIP 1559. And basically the community will then choose the pool that they want to go with. And that's basically what happened with Ethereum Classic. You've got a fork, and you're going to have 2 coins at the end. So it's going to be interesting. If all the pools actually decide on one outcome, implement it, then it's not going to be a problem. But if you're going to have a bunch of pools that go with EIP 1559 and a bunch that don't, you're going to probably have a fork. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah. Because yeah, they really don't like the fact that EIP burns transaction fees instead of giving them to miners. And that is basically to encourage people not to have like add super high fees to the transactions and smart contracts, and also hopefully in the future make that the Ethereum blockchain and the ETH asset becomes deflationary. So yeah, that was it basically for this live stream. If you got any questions, do let me know and I'll answer them for a few minutes. If you want to stay up to date, then I recommend that you follow me on Twitter, Your DeFi Guide. The link is down below. You can also find me, Your DeFi Guide. And here I post a lot of things, also some more advanced stuff, like for DeFi DGen. Sometimes I also post tokens I'm following that I don't really have the time to make a full video about it. So especially DeFi related stuff or hacks and information that are time sensitive. So definitely make sure you follow me here if you want to stay up to date and before the videos get released, as sometimes time-sensitive content can also impact the price of different cryptocurrencies, and yeah, it's good to be in the know. So if you've got any questions, leave them in the chat. Otherwise, be going and making myself some dinner as I'm super hungry. So yeah, no questions. I'll be answering them otherwise in the comments if you have them, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.